After reading the caption of the broadcast, kindly read the description of the broadcast as well. Then, like the broadcast, like it, share it. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell them all that Mayegun is live. Mayegun today. A trending video of Anambra State Governor Chukwuma Soludo has been trending on social media in the last 24 hours. In that video, Soludo, I believe, a special guest in an event organized by the Igbos in America, where he is believed to come and brief them about the situation back home and what he and others are doing in helping the situation. Soludo spoke. It was probably like about 2-3 minutes into the his speech, rather. Soludo dropped a lie that you can call a bombshell, or a bombshell that happened to be a lie. Soludo told the Igbos in America, and obviously the Igbos all over the world, that the report of the killings of Biafrans in Igbo land, the kidnappings perpetrated by the Fulani terrorists, is a complete, the way he puts it, he said it is a total kind of like a misplaced or misconception, rather, a misconception. And according to Soludo, since he became governor, he has discovered that 99.99% of those terrorizing Igbo land, the southeast of Nigeria, they are not Fulani herdsmen. Rather, they are Igbo sons and daughters. He said, because right now, kidnapping is so lucrative, more than Yahoo. And that is why their youth are now involved in kidnapping. This is a lie that if a state governor can present such at any forum at all, right, confidently, then I can tell you that the problem of Nigeria is deeper than some of you would admit. To start with, the attacks of the Fulani terrorists across Nigeria is not a misconception. We have seen victims who survived tell their tales. People in the southern part of Nigeria have been paying ransoms to Fulani terrorists in tens and hundreds of millions of naira. That is not a misconception. People have given their own personal testimonies, including testimonies of the collusion of the supposed security agents in the eastern part of Nigeria. Of course, like everywhere else, there are criminals, but the surge in the politically sponsored insecurity in the eastern part of Nigeria was admitted to by the guy who happened to be the gateway of this terrorism to the eastern part of Nigeria, on record. He absolved, the Igbo youth of any terrorism. Yeah, they may have their criminals, yeah, and maybe copycats too. But how could anyone, in reality, with all the available evidence, online, offline, the victims themselves, the survivors, the communities, I'm even talking about the videos of the statement of politicians themselves. Where did Soludo get his own data from? And some said it's because he's going for second term. If you are going for second term, is it not to be second term governor in Anambra State? Right? How do you then dismiss and evidence documented Fulani terrorism and their attacks in the eastern part of Nigeria to no, it doesn't exist anymore. I'm going to let us start from that tonight because there is even more going on out there. First,
factual. I've been in office for three years and 3 months, okay? If we have arrested 100 criminals, non-mafia, kidnappers, and so on and so forth, 99.99% of them were Igbo. Did you hear me right? I said 99.99% of them were Igbo. So these things are made because that was part of the lie that was put in propaganda. They are into kidnapping because it is the next lucrative business after Yahoo and drug. The next one for find disabled kidnapping. And this is even other states. If an acquire we do all Anambra. Onye nke na village fa ogote motorcycle ajoin California abia ka etinye na line akpọle ya bai mafia ọmụma ha to ifa iji dey also on the Fulani. Let me I repeat, and I want you to quote me right. 99.99% of all the criminals, kidnappers and so on that were arrested so far Igbo. Igbos are the ones kidnapping Igbos. They are the ones killing Igbos. All these camps. Igbo. And by the way, because I came with the same false narrative. The false narrative, oh, the Fulanis, they are invading our people. They are now everywhere. They are waiting for whistle to be blown. And this, and they will take over. And therefore, we are the ones who are the liberators. We are now going into the bush to go to chase out the Fulanis. Nobody asked the question. They are now banning mafia to go and liberate you. How do they feed 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, 1 year? How do they feed? How do they feed? So that, you see, like I said, I'm one of you, but I decided to go home. Actually, in '99, I was a visiting professor at Swarthmore College. Okay? And I remember the last conversation I was having at Stanford, because from there I moved down here to DC, to the World Bank, where I spent 18 months. I was just leaving and they were having a Stanford party. And I remember the chairman of the department wishing that I could spend maybe a much longer time. My response was, a friend there called me several years to say how my response touched him, a white man. Asked me if God in his infinite wisdom decided in Memoria Africa, there must be a purpose. And I couldn't fulfill that purpose in this land. Here, that my marginal contribution to American civilization is next to 0 point something %. But my marginal contribution to the advancement of civilization in Africa will be, you see how your presence elevates the quality of discussion and decisions, and so on. And tomorrow, one of the meetings in that project, when I left Swarthmore to the World Bank, I was a long-term consultant, and we produced a book published by the World Bank in 2000 entitled Can Africa Claim the 21st Century?
Nuisance Lele.
He just threw all the victims of the Fulani attacks in the eastern part of Nigeria. He just threw them under the bus, just like that, and went on, right, to praise himself, to boost his personal ego, that he has nothing to contribute to America. but he's got greater blah, blah, blah to contribute to Africa. Like that. Being so dishonest. Now, don't get me wrong, oh. Two scenarios are playing out here. And I actually have one as the main one that is playing out, but I'll give you two. We all know that the Fulani, acclaimed Fulani herdsmen, who have even been apprehended, arrested by any form of security in any part of the southern part of Nigeria, have been released the following day. We have had evidence of victims of these Fulani terrorists who apprehended their attackers themselves, only for these attackers to return back to the communities. So, there is no record of any Fulani terrorists arrested in Igbo land, either by police, by the people themselves, by vigilantes and what have you. They did not keep any record because we all know that one. There is none of them in any prison or any what have you in Yoruba land. That is one. Then that will now leave us with when they are arresting criminals in Igbo land, and they have exempted the principal aggressor, the Fulani terrorist. Would you think the majority that will populate their police cells, special cells, and all of that for all other crimes, who do you think will fill up all those places? Yorubas. Abi Ijos. No, you tell me. In Igbo land, if people are perpetrating crimes there, who do you think will be the majority of the people they will arrest? Remembering that there is no state in Nigeria that will tell you, not even in Benue State, Benue, where they are killing people, their state governor can't tell you how many Fulani terrorists they have in detention. Not a single one in detention. Not a single one. But you know that there are people in detention because of Benue crisis. Yeah, there are people in detention. There are people in detention because of Plateau State terrorism. While the main aggressors, the Fulani terrorists, you can prove me wrong. I'm willing to be wrong. So in Igbo land, where you have pickpockets, you have fraudsters, you have kidnappers for ransom too. Those who are setting their family members up just to collect money, they are kidnappers too. Then you now put all of that as your own stats. A World Bank consultant, a former central bank governor, and a governor of a state in eastern part of Nigeria went into an Igbo event in America, and he told them 99.99% of those killing people, terrorizing Igbo land, they are Igbos. Like, it is a very, oh my God. As horrible as the criminals governing Nigeria are, they would dare not throw their own people under the bus like that. With that straight statement that is not true. Now, let me show you something. What is it like after attacks in a place like Ehamufu? Something like this.
We don't get anything. Even now, one Brego Shunu, Layin Le Solihena, Layin Quadribu Nuleme, Makalem. I didn't make a little Pashurome. Bihera Danada. Mobola Magajo were a malod gate. Ayatawa, one of Fruno walking my mother lake and make do. Nobody can go. We can have a Garaga, a graduate Lumu Latara. a week today. Ego labs also whom I'm done. What's it about again? Master, let's go again a minute. You don't get it. You don't get it. You don't back to hell on my malata. You don't know the platform moon. Blood on the government, blood on the politics. Last sponsor, Lendu Ukotuku. Last sponsor, Helene. If you particular, I will tell you to particular and the politics sponsor. You know, man, the politics school now to boy. You be a matter. Magali made the rule at the politics. You be a goodbye. You be a rob. I don't know Joru. No, and there, Hakoka. I will delay to it. And you will, the president of.
So you mean the people of Ehamuku, you know, the victims of this Fulani terrorism in Enugu? Ehamuku is very popular, not for good reason, simply because they have been those who have actually suffered more. Simply because they are those who share border. Enugu, they share border with, Benue or so. So there's always that spillover. So as much as people are talking more about Benue, the Middle Belt and all that, there's always the spillover in the eastern part of Nigeria, from Enugu to Ebonyi to Imo states. But guess what? They are political leaders, like other places too, right? They are political leaders in the eastern part of Nigeria. Well, just like Nigeria, as the Nigerian government is more or less on the side of the terrorists. Because they are more concerned about how the Fulanis will be seen if the people are allowed to continue to say the Fulani terrorist in a country like Nigeria. So they frown upon anybody identifying the attackers by their tribe. And in the whole of Nigeria, after Boko Haram, the Fulani terrorists is the only tribe, or should I say ethnic group, out of hundreds of others who in Nigeria terrorizing the rest of other indigenous people in the country. There is no other indigenous or ethnic group in Nigeria that have an organized armed group going to attack people in faraway places, far away from their land, and claiming to have an entitlement to the land. There's no other tribe. So the politicians don't want people to say Fulani terrorists. So they coined the fake, the diversionary name. They call them bandits. No police station can arrest and keep them longer than 24 hours. This is not just the confession of the victims. It is also the confession of security officials in Nigeria, policemen, soldiers. They will tell you. Right? So, the Igbo politicians, like Nigeria, they are on the side of the terrorists. They are more worried about what will happen if they allow people to call them Fulani terrorists, because they are Fulanis. It may lead to the Fulanis becoming endangered. Not them actually crushing the criminals to protect the name of the Fulanis. Like, there are criminals, they say, in every tribe. Fine. It is the work of the government, of the law, to catch criminals. Once you commit crime, right, you go down for it. No sacred cow, no special treatment for everybody. That means if the armed Fulani terrorist goes after the indigenous people, it is the job of the government to crush them, not the people getting to notice that there is actually a special treatment, preferential treatment for this kind of criminals in Nigeria. You get it now? Rather than face the problem, They want to treat the symptom. And to pacify, God knows the sponsor of these terrorists. In that contraption, Igbo politicians would rather throw their people under the bus, just like that. A Methodist prelate or so was abducted. He gave his personal experience to the media when he paid ransom. 100 million naira ransom to terrorists before they released him. Did Soludo tell them in America about this person? Or did Soludo believe that many people in that room don't know the truth?